everybody, and welcome to the Absolute Football Podcast. And it is absolutely non-league tonight, which is, as always, in collaboration with a fantastic NL Full-Time. But it's quite a lonely one tonight, isn't it, Morgan? I mean, after last week, I do want to clarify, everybody, I did have a club advisory fan board meeting at Rochdale. I weren't just hiding because York beat us, but even if I was hiding, it's like karma anyway, because it's just me and Morgan at this point. But Morgan, how are you? And are you ready to talk football? Because you've got no choice.
I can't. There's no hiding tonight, is there? No, I'm good. Chilled at work. York win again. Score goals again. It's great. So yeah, I'm very happy to talk football and having a look at some of the results this weekend. It's a pretty good weekend to talk about it. Some chaos in non-league.
Definitely. I know there is a few people in the chat, so we will say hi to them. We have Steve, he's put, yo, what's up, people? Hope you're okay. We've got North Stander. Hi, folks. Hope you're okay. We've got Graham. Bless Graham. He's come on here tonight. He's obviously one of our OGs. He tunes into every single show. At least you can enjoy the first 3 shows of a week, Graham, and you don't have to talk EFL football because Charlton did get a little bit of a thumping, but we will save that for Thursday. And if we want to not talk about it, we can skip it because it's you, Graham. We have got Steve as well. Evening. Hope you're okay. North Sanders put not too much happening in non-league footy at the Mo. Will be difficult to find much to talk about, especially with me and Morgan as well. There's just the two of us, but I'm sure we can talk about what we had for our tea or a snack we like to eat. I'm sure we will. There's plenty to talk about. We were just saying as well, we'll save it for Sam, but a lot has happened so far in that Manchester United Everton game. A lot. It's first and third in the National League at the moment. Will there be twists? Will there be any turns? I'm hoping if there is twists and turns, both of us still go up. No offense to anyone else in the chat, but I'm hoping it's Rochdale and York, even though I don't want to play them for a while because it's an easy 6 points, isn't it, if we come up with you?
Seemingly, yeah. It never feels like an easy 6 points. I don't like playing Rochdale. It's a 1-for-1 matchup, isn't it? 3 at the back. It's possession-based football. It's almost identical. I don't like it. It's almost the team I don't want to play. Yet we seem to win quite easily.
Do you know what's frustrating as well, right? Even though both of us didn't really like that game when we played you in the cup, it wasn't the best game of football. And we obviously didn't perform very well that one. But I thought, do you know what? It was only 2-1. It's not that bad. And then I went into, obviously, we will talk about it when we come to National League. But I went into that one thinking, you get it back to 1-1. Nice one. At half time, and I thought, we actually played fairly well, I thought, the first half. Yeah. We just decided not to turn up. I think the bodies were there, but they didn't really do much with them, did they, that second half, our defence?
No, it was 1-1 was fair at half time. Like, it was a really even half. You possibly edged it because I know Mail had to make 1 or 2 saves. It was a really good half. And then we go long to Josh Stones twice. Ebanks Landell can't deal with it and game over. But yeah, we'll leave that to later.
Do you know what's frustrating about that, though? It's the fact that Ebanks Landell, and I've said about him on this podcast, he's been solid this season. And bless him. I know, honestly, right. It's just him and his missus have obviously just had a newborn baby. So I'm wondering whether he's had a few sleepless nights. He's a little bit tired because it did show in that game. But it was, I think all three out of Kyron Gordon, Sam Beckwith and Ebanks all decided to have a bad game on the same night, which doesn't happen often, but at least it's just like one game. Get hammering, get it out of the way. It's against the team we never win against.
We had it last year. We lost Forest Green away. We lost to Barnet. Like, it just happened. Hi, Sam.
Hi, Sam. How are you? Should I ask? Shauna's put, wait, there was football this weekend. There was. Graham has put, haha, I've got to get through tomorrow's game, Shah, before I get to Thursday. That's true. Just reminding me there's a double game week. So, though, Graham, if there's a double game week, should we skip the weekend's game and just do the midweek one for you? Got you back. Yeah, it's mysteriously changed. I think there's something going on with YouTube at the moment. It's have a week off and everything's changed.
Can't have a week off now, can you?
As well in the chat. Oh, we've got a friend. We've got a friend.
Rob.
Hi, Rob. How are you?
Good evening to you guys. Sorry, I'm a little bit late.
No, don't be silly.
Just getting getting work done and out of the way. But I'm glad I could turn it from a duo into a trio.
I know, what a trio as well. What a trio. I just wanted to point out as well to everyone in the chat, your names are all confusing at the minute. I don't know if it's StreamYard or YouTube have swapped all the names around. So I do apologise if I don't recognise any of you from your original names. But yeah, there's been an update or something. But Danny has put, we just never beat York recently. We can't be in the playoffs. If they may as well not turn up. I know. Everything bit depleted tonight, you guys. Have a great show. Trev. Hi, Trev. Hope you're okay. I love Trev. And his content is fantastic as well. He does a lot of it, from writing to podcasts. So everyone do check out his work. He is literally, he's so knowledgeable. So knowledgeable.
Do you know what? Do you know how knowledgeable he is, Shah? I reckon that I've got his contact details. I reckon I should send him the link, and he should come on and join us and make
I think he should as well, because he has promised me he will come on at one point.
I'm going to send it to you, Trevor. Entirely up to you if you can make it. Come and join us if you want to.
None of that entirely up to you. You better get your backside on here, Trev. That is coming from me. But yes, we do have to start somewhere. And tonight we are starting in the National League North. If anybody is new to the stream, you are more than welcome to send in your match reports for any of the games if you've been to them, or even if you do have any talking points. Please, please, please send them in the chat. We'd love interacting with you. But yes, National League North. And I know somebody who has got a lot of notes, including myself, because we thought, it's the two of us. We better get writing some things down. So Morgan, I will come to you first. Any on here you want to talk about?
I mean, yeah, with my notes, I could probably talk about any of them at this point. But Merthyr Alfreton stands out as 6-2. And the big question for me, they're up to third now. I think they're 6 points off top. Let me I'm sure they're 6. Yeah, 6 points off top. And we were looking at it, and it was like Fylde and South Shields running away with it. Ricardo Reese scores another hat trick. If he stays, they're in a title race. Like, he's that good, he'll keep him in title race. I think he's on 18 and 18 now, like, ridiculous return. Does he leave? I saw an Oldham fan on Twitter saying, what if we go get Ricardo Reese? I don't know if he'd make the jump to the National League or League Two, but if he's paid to go full-time, obviously Merthyr's a little bit out in the middle of nowhere. If he's paid to go full-time, I'm sure he'll take it. That could completely derail any playoff hopes to go, because you can't replace someone that's scoring 18 and 18. Like, if he hits 25, 30 this season, they're in the playoffs, and we know the playoffs are a bit chaotic and anyone can go up. If Ricardo Reese stays, they're in a playoff race 100%, they might be in a title race. If he leaves in January to the Football League, if he leaves before them for someone in the National League and goes pro, I think they'll fall apart. But Alfreton, they've been an awkward team to play at times. I know we've played them in National League North, and they'll bully you and they're horrible. Merthyr have made it look easy, and Ricardo Reese, again, we've spoken about him in the past, just brilliant, hitting a hat-trick there and just solidifying that possible title race.
Definitely. Rob, have you got any here that you want to speak about?
Yeah, I think one that stands out, and I think there are mitigating circumstances for the side that have lost, but it certainly caught the eye, didn't it? Peterborough Sports 3,
yes.
Ratcliffe 0. Obviously, we know who the manager's gone in at Peterborough Sports. He said he's loving football as much as ever right now, and others are going, oh my goodness, you've managed in the Premier League. Phil Brown we're talking about, of course. And now he's at Peterborough Sports, loving his time. Ratcliffe have been flying. I mean, literally sat third, fourth in the table. But they had a bad day at the office. They had a couple of players sent off.
Both forwards, wasn't it, as well?
Yeah,
it was
both forwards.
And Jordan Hume.
That's it, yeah. And I think Jono, I think, has put the footage of Jordan's sending off, and it looks a bit spurious, doesn't it? It looks a little bit unfortunate. I'd imagine that they'll appeal against that, won't they? But obviously they're not going to get the points back. That one's done. It's just 3 points, and a precious 3 points for Peterborough Sports, who are fighting hard to get away from the bottom end.
They're at the bottom four now, aren't they? I think that wins throughout the bottom four, which is massive for them, because I know we came on week by week saying Peterborough going down, like they're looking dead. Win there, yes, in some weird circumstance with Radcliffe down to 9, and that, I think it was the second yellow where the guy tripped his teammate up? Is that the one?
Yeah.
I saw that on Twitter. Obviously, some slightly weird circumstances, but 3-0's 3-0, and they're at the bottom four, and we don't know where they can go now.
Must be a Peterborough thing, because obviously even in the EFL, Peterborough, since obviously their new managers come in, they're doing very, very well. So it must be a Peterborough thing. New managers coming in, and then it seems to be picking up the points. One thing I did want to mention, to be fair, I know there is mention of Spennymoor fan, as in Chris. I know he's currently on holiday at the moment in America, so I will defend him on that one. I don't think it's because they lost. I may be wrong. But to be fair, he's usually in here no matter what the score is. But he has gone to America to see his girlfriend, which is lovely. So, yeah, I just wanted to stick up for him. And of course, Trev, how are you?
Hey. Evening, Trevor.
Are you all good?
Yeah, really good, thank you. And I think it's nice to have 4 of us on, isn't it? I mean, bless you, you were cracking on with 2, weren't you, Charlotte? 10 minutes ago.
I know. It's a good thing I can talk a lot. Probably why I always end up with a sore throat. Talk too much. Trev, is there any standout games or any you want to talk about in National League North?
I'll pick out South Shields as the standout team at the moment. Obviously, Rob would be quite pleased to have got away with a point at the weekend. But I did tip Shields to finish in the top 6, I think, or top 5 this year in the playoffs. Literally because I like the management team, what they've got. They've recruited well over the summer as well. And then obviously adding Sedwin Scott to the mix as well. But I didn't really expect them to start as well as they did. And then going unbeaten for as long as they did as well. I mean, Fylde are keeping them, on their toes, but they've really stuck out for me this year. And Merthyr has been the other one as well. I had them probably about mid-table, and I had a few Merthyr fans come to me going, "Nah, we're going to be a little bit higher than that." And I'm like, "Great, go and prove me wrong." And absolutely brilliant. Radcliffe as well with Bernard and John. I came a bit of a cropper at the weekend, but they're all up there. It's another interesting league. They're all. Obviously I'm watching it from my perspective, not having a horse in the race, which is great. Gives me so much more scope to be able to see stuff as well. But it's unfolding that one to be another good season, I think, in the North.
Definitely. I just wanted to talk about, obviously, the AFC Fylde game, because Buxton, I was looking at some of the stats, and it was actually, they hadn't won in the last 4 prior to this, and I think it was a cup game that they did, so a really, really good win for Buxton. I just wanted to mention that one. And one other thing I did want to mention as well is Charlie, because one of our lads that we did have on a dual contract, Jack Griffiths, he has actually gone to Charlie now. And I just wanted, I don't know if there is any Charlie fans in the chat, but just to speak about him, because I saw him in pre-season in the National League Cup games. And I'm actually really, really gutted that he has moved on to Charlie. I don't know if he just, obviously with the team that we've got, he just isn't good enough, or he just wants an opportunity to play regular football. But what a gem they have got. It looks really, really promising. So I just wanted to obviously mention that. But this comment made me laugh from Graham. He's put Shah went from Avengers Assemble and to become 4, which sounds like a crap Spice Girls cover. As long as I'm not singing that crap Spice Girls cover, because you'll all leave and it'll just be me.
Can I just say though, Shah, I'm sure I remember when I logged in to watch this before I was involved in it. I seem to remember you doing quite a bit of singing, and I haven't seen any this season.
We got a happy birthday out here the other week, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. I think I'm safe. Then again, I could sing because it's Black Friday deals. So at least if I like burst anybody's eardrum, like earphones or anything, they'll be able to get a really good offer on Amazon.
I think that Chorley game, just you were mentioning it, that Chorley game feels quite big because they hadn't won since the 20th September. I think it was their first win since then. And last year they were in the playoffs, and they've been in the playoffs the last few years. High scoring team. And obviously we just took Craig Hewitt from them, and was it Justin Johnson was there, I think his name is. They've had some really good attacking players scoring goals, being in the playoffs. To not win since September 20th, like 2 months is a long time in football to not win. So it's good they got back on that winning horse. And obviously Bedford, we know about their strike force. Obviously Tyrone Marsh is there. We know what they can do. So to keep them to a clean sheet, obviously really, really good for Chorley. Kind of came out of nowhere to keep Bedford to a clean sheet and then get your first win in 2 months. So I feel like that one deserves that mention.
Yeah, 100%. I know who this one is, despite the name change. Poor Luke, at least you can wait right to the end because we are doing National League right at the end. And he's put as well, at least Marine and Oxford City has saved the day with a 0-0. I know, it loves a good 0-0, Luke.
He's a bit of an odd one.
He never gets them at Gateshead, does it? I bet he'd wish for a 0-0, the poor lad, at this point.
No, I'd love a clean sheet.
To be fair, that Darlington Spennymoor kind of a little bit of a northeast derby there. That one was 0-0 until the 89th minute. Both teams had a player sent off, but Cedric Main scored the winning goal for Darlington in the 89th minute. So that's a pretty tight one. Fine margins, but as they say, only takes a minute to score a goal. They just waited 89 of them.
It was a bit weird that Darlow's man sent off for Scott Barrow as well, because when he was at York, he was like the nicest man in football. I didn't think that man could scare anyone. So to get 2 yellows and get sent off seems a shock.
Just going back to the chat really quickly, Sean has put, can also just mention how amazing it was to see the podcast at the FCAs and hope you had an amazing time, Rob.
Oh, bless. Yeah, we had a good time, but we didn't have a great time. And that's not because we didn't win. It's because we didn't have Shah there, or you, Morgan, to be fair. But, I kind of almost was relieved that we didn't win because I can't envisage us having won and then not had Shah there to go up and get it. Because, a lot of us come on here, on occasions, don't we, or more weeks than not. But Shah's here every week. Holding
apart
the
from when we get beat 4-1 off York. I had a cab meeting, I promise. It just so happens every time I have a cab meeting, the weekend before or the day before, we end up losing. I promise it's not actually it's not me. It just so happens. Has anybody got anything else to say about National League North before we move on?
Just quickly on that South. Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, what's going on with Hereford?
I know. They've got a lot of games in hand as well, haven't 3 games in hand.
It was postponed, wasn't it? There were 2 games postponed, yeah.
They seem massively underachieving this year. I can't remember where I had them in the table. I mean, Darlington a few weeks ago, I looked at them and I thought they were underachieving as well, but they pulled themselves up. But
yeah, they've been great.
Yeah, but Hereford is just really, really surprising. 3 points off the bottom is not kind of where I expected them to be.
Do they still have the fan-owned model?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do, don't they? Whether that's come into it. I know they've lost a few of their players as well from last season. If I remember rightly, I think they've had some injuries, but I know for fan-owned model and structure, that was one of the reasons, obviously, we struggled at Dale the last few seasons because obviously that was going on and we just couldn't sustain and we couldn't obviously keep up with the other teams, obviously in their budgets, and luckily we've changed that. So I don't know whether that's something that we can say as well. They don't really have the finances and resources of some of them, but not all of them do in National League North, to be fair, do they?
No, it's a weird one because I don't know if that is a bit of a ceiling because Hereford are fan-owned, Chester are fan-owned, and Darlington raise quite a lot through their fans. Obviously, one's 6th, one's 14th, and one's 23rd. So after a third of the season, pretty much, you've got one in the middle, one at the bottom, and one at the top. So it's a weird leveling playing field. But the top two teams both have massive budgets, South Shields and Fylde. So I don't know if the ceiling to get back into the National League and make that jump is you've got to kind of scrap the fan-owned model. It's great. You've got 3 former Football League teams, obviously having gone bust and coming back up.
Yeah.
But I'd fully appreciate why they've gone fan-owned. You can't trust someone to run your club when you've been killed in the past. But it does leave you a bit of a ceiling. It's the 6th tier is a decent level to play at, but you want to be back in the 5th tier, and everyone wants to be in the Football League. Obviously, Rob, Aldershot, Sharp, Rochdale, me, York, like we want our teams to be back in the Football League. But I don't know if that fan-owned model is just hindering Hereford, Chester, and Darlington. Hereford, especially this year.
Are they part-time as well, aren't they, Hereford?
I'm
Sure
not
they
sure.
are.
Yeah.
Pretty sure they are, aren't they? Sorry, I just had to have some of my drink. Right, so the table. So top of the table, we have South Shields on 40 points, AFC Fylde as second on 38 points, Merthyr Town a third on 34 points, Radcliffe a fourth on 29 points. Then we have in fifth Scarborough on 29 points, Darlington a sixth on 28 points, Kidderminster a seventh on 28 points. And in the relegation zone, we have in 21st, Alfreton Town on 17 points. Oxford City, they are 22nd on 16 points. Hereford are 23rd, also on 16 points. And bottom of the table, we have Leamington on 13 points. We drew Leamington as well in the cup. I'm hoping it's the return of Toby Adebayo rolling, hugging a tree. Honestly, that celebration was wild. But yeah, it's obviously nice. We did mention it before. Peterborough Sports obviously getting out of the relegation zone now since Phil Brown obviously came in to manage them. Very, very experienced manager as well, isn't he? He was at Kidderminster last season. So yeah, Southport as well, obviously out of the relegation zone, but it is still pretty tight, isn't it? Especially considering some do have games in hand.
It's also really, really tight from 4th place right down to 13th. And
Yes.
Apologies, I didn't see the name, but it just popped up in the chat. But somebody mentioned about Macclesfield having played less than anybody. Look, just 15 games. So if they're 3 games in hand over a lot of the teams, they just picked up, let's say, 5 points. They'd actually jump from 13th up to around about 4th or 5th, depending on goal difference, wouldn't they? So not one to write off just yet, Macclesfield. And if we say that, roughly speaking, they're probably around the top 10 at the moment, realistically, with the extra games. And considering everything that's happened, considering Robbie Savage moved on, considering 3 players moved on, another one since, I think they've done really well.
They have. Right, National League South. I do have a match report from Ben. He couldn't make it, but to be fair to him, despite the defeat, he has sent me his match report, which I will read out a little bit later. But Rob, I'm going to come to you first. Any on here you want to talk about? I mean, I thought I made a mistake at first with all the greed in the first, 5 fixtures.
Yeah, absolutely. I think basically, to be fair to Joe, who's on here a lot, he's just not going to forgive me if I don't start with 7 up, as he calls it. Torquay United 7, Eastbourne Borough 0. I think the most surprising thing about that scoreline is that Torquay United have actually been struggling with quite a lot of injuries at the moment. Joe tells me they had 1 or 2 back, but no more than that. So that was a real surprise. Also, given that, Tommy Whittington's gone in at Eastbourne Borough, there's obviously a lot of work to do. He's picked up a couple of wins, hasn't he, since he's been there? Yeah. But they're still very much in the zone. And I guess the other talking point that will come from this game is the fact that Eastbourne Borough, as a football club, have decided to reimburse the 45 fans that travelled. That sparked a few debates and discussions. Some people think that if you support, and you take the rough with the smooth. I know Tommy Whittington said after the game that he doesn't apologise, for those situations, because that's when you need your supporters more than anything, don't you? But Louis Dennis, what on earth is he doing playing in the National League South? He's far too good for it. He got a hat trick. And Joe thinks after just sort of 15, 16 games that he might be in the top 5 Torquay United players of all time.
Love that. Just on Louis Dennis as well. Tommy has put, Louis Dennis ran the show. He's a class above at this level. Felt sorry for the 45 Eastbourne fans. Their team gave up and it should have been double figures to us. Sets us up nicely for Worthing.
Tomorrow,
yeah. Quickly, there's a little bit of chat about it. What has gone wrong at Eastbourne this season? Playoffs last season, not too good this season. What has gone wrong?
Adam Murray went to Kidderminster, couldn't find a replacement, and now they're trying with Tommy Widrington. But when they were bottom when he came in, weren't they? It's a big way to kind of scratch back in a very competitive league. You're always going to struggle. So I think they just set themselves on the wrong foot. Like if he wanted to go to Kidderminster to geography or whatever it was, fair enough. But you've got to get that appointment right. You can't go from third to bottom 4 that quickly.
They went with the wrong recruitment model for me during the summer, though. They've gone down the youth route, which wasn't going to work with Matt Gray, bearing in mind what he worked with at Sutton. And that's really what they've lacked. They've lacked the experience across the pitch, which they've not replaced at all. And although Tommy's brought in 2 or 3 so far, they pretty much need to do what they did when they got rid of Mark Beard and brought in Adam Murray 2 years ago. They're basically back to that situation. So if Simon backs Tommy to bring in the players, which he's going to have to pay the money for, then the chances are I think they'll get out of it. If he doesn't, then they will sit and stay in that bottom 4. And to go down 7-0 in any standard of football, we've had plenty of them around Sussex this season already, and a couple in double figures. But when one of your top sides gets done by it, there isn't a lot of excuse for it.
Just to add something to what you've said there, Trevor, I'll say this for Tommy Widrington. If that was the recruitment model, and I'm not as up on it as you are with young players, then he's a good manager to have in because he does trust in youth. He does believe in youth. He's given all sorts. I mean, he's been playing with the youngest back 3 at Aldershot, back end of last season, beginning of this. You know, some of that was forced with experienced players he'd signed being unavailable, but he would have them out there week in, week out. We won the FA Trophy at Wembley with a 19, a 20 and a 21-year-old, all 3 of them on loan. Yeah, he's going to need a bit of time, that's for sure. You know, but they've got a difficult, you know, rest of the season ahead of them, Eastbourne Borough, haven't they? Due to that, the lag that you get, like you say, there might have been some issues with the recruitment. Then did they have the right manager fit? So they've changed again. But I would back him. I would back Tommy to pull Eastbourne clear of trouble for sure. I mean, I'm not as familiar with the division as you are, Trev. I would imagine there'll be at least 4 sides, if not more, that will be below Eastbourne by the end of the season.
Morgan, I'm going to come to you next. Anyone here you want to give a mention to? And just everyone in the chat, I have starred your comment, so do not worry. I will get to you in a second.
Rob said it of Joe would be annoyed if we didn't talk about Torquay. I think Lee would be annoyed if we didn't talk about Worthing.
This ball not coming on. I'm joking.
Since Hinch has gone back, I think they've won 7 in a row. I think they've conceded 4 goals in that 7. Like, we knew it would improve them. Obviously, they had a bit of a weird start to the season. They were brilliant last year under Chris Agata before he left to go to Sutton. But no one could have predicted 7 wins in a row, 4 goals conceded, and they just look brilliant. It's Dollahan, isn't it? Brad Dollahan has been fantastic for them. I know Ben's talked about how good he is on this podcast. I saw he'd scored. I think it was. I think he might have got both of them this weekend. It might have just been one. I saw he scored them.
He got both.
He did.
Got both. Like, again, we speak about goal scorers in this league going higher up. I don't know if Adam Hinchelwood's track record can keep him here. He's got Worthing to the playoffs in the past. He got York to 96 points. He's a manager that people want to play under, especially attackers. He made Ollie Pearce fantastic, and Ollie Pearce only moved to the National League when Hinchelwood went with him. So I don't know if that is enough to keep Brad Dolhan at Worthing this year, if it is, him against anyone, whether that's the playoffs or a title race, is going to be really, really strong for them. We know the National League South playoffs are chaos. We saw it last year where Truro and Torquay, Maidstone, Dorking, everyone was involved. If Hinchwood and Brad Dolhan can hit that with the right form, it'll be hard to see anyone stopping them, despite how strong that league can be.
Definitely. Just in the chat as well. Worthing have won 9 in a row now. It's a massive game tomorrow. Torquay versus Worthing. I mean, who needs Champions League football when you've got games like that? Seriously. Genuinely. Who needs all this Champions League football going on when you've got a cracker like that?
Absolutely, yeah. We've got a full set of fixtures, haven't we, in the south and north, and many of the National League clubs are involved tomorrow night as well.
And then we've got that funny thing called the National League Cup.
That's what I meant. I didn't say. I was trying to say it without. I was trying to say it without saying it.
Yeah. Trev, National League South expert. Anyone here you want to talk about? You can pick however many you want.
I'll pick out 3. First, I'll pick out Maidenhead United. Obviously, today they announced Alan Devonshire stepping down in 2 games' time, and I know Ryan Peters has been there for a long time, as well as his assistant manager is going to step in as interim as well. But my God, that is an act to follow and a legacy he's leaving behind. I mean, I think probably all of our clubs can turn around and say we've had a nasty afternoon away at York Road where we've got absolutely nothing and given an Alan Devonshire lesson. So massive shout out to him, well respected around the game as well. So be interested to see if Ryan gets it full time or whether they assess their options and bring someone in. So obviously they started particularly well, and now they've dropped off, so they do need to pick up again. I've got to shout Horsham out and Dom the power of the job Dom's doing over there is absolutely fantastic. Obviously, I know a lot of Horsham fans, I know a lot of Worthing fans. Horsham fans were happy they finished 5th from bottom, but seeing where they are now and the job he's done there, wherever they finish this year is going to be the highest position they've ever finished in their history. And he's done that every year for 10 years, which is something a lot of managers really can't do. I hope Maidenhead get relegated. Yeah, they've done tremendously well. Hopefully I can keep it up over the second half of the season as well, because it's easy to get yourself into that position. And obviously with Hinch's return to Worthing, they got a nice little bit of Sussex competition there, to keep themselves going. And the other one I wanted to pick out was Lee Allison. Hemel has done fantastically well so far. Obviously they got a bit of a pummeling from Hinch's Worthing a couple of weeks ago, but I thought his recruitment in summer was quick. He got his targets in that he wanted. And I think I actually did him a little bit of a disservice by not actually putting him in that top 7. I thought maybe they might just be a little couple of component parts short this year. But they're doing absolutely brilliantly. And he's getting a tune out of everyone he's brought in. And I just hope, both them and Horsham do sit within that top 7 at the end. It's going to upset a few people that probably thought they would be in there and aren't.
Shah, can I just mention Dover Athletic for a couple of reasons? One,
go on then. I'm joking. Of course.
One, I think you've probably noticed now, but one is they became the first team to win away at Weston-super-Mare this season. And 2, and I'm only pulling your leg here because they also managed to get a 1-1 draw at Hornchurch on the same day, according to
I've just seen that.
But no,
come on, guys. It's been a long day.
Sorry, Shah. I thought we might as well do it in a humorous way, but that's obviously it's AFC Tottenham that got the draw at Hornchurch.
I was just testing you all. Very
good.
At least you all knew.
But yeah, first home defeat for Weston-super-Mare towards the end of November. That's pretty good going, isn't it, to go that long without losing at home?
Definitely. Just speaking of Hornchurch as well, somebody who Graham will know very, very well in a chat, and who we had last season, Aaron Henry. He has gone on loan to Hornchurch. He actually scored the free kick as well. Brilliant set piece taker. I was so gutted that his time got cut short at Dale last season. he struggles a lot with his injuries, and it's a reoccurring foot injury, unfortunately. But when he's playing football in that defensive midfield role, he is vital. Not only that, and he protects obviously the back line, but he is very good moving forward as well. And he's one of them players where he's not the quickest of players, but he's got it up there. He's very, very intelligent. So Hornchurch, if they can keep him fit, they have got a very, very great player on their hands. And like I said, I know Graham will know him very, very well. Just really quickly, I will go to the chat. So Graham has put Old Maidstone. So I do have Ben's match report. Bless him. So it is Dorking Wanderers 3, Maidstone United 1. He has put poor performance. Dorking a level above on the day. Started okay, first 15, but once Dorking scored, it was going to be a long afternoon. However, not helped by the ref, who gave one of the worst penalty decisions that I've seen in a long time, as Josh Taylor dived with Leo Hamlin pulling out of the challenge. Jason Pryor made it 2 always scores against us. Denon Lewis made it 3 in the second half, with TJ Bramble giving us 1 back at the death. Credit to Dorking, very good side, and play like that, they will comfortably be in the playoffs again. Some of our lads, though, need to take a look in the mirror after that. No way we should be dropping our standards after a good win at Torquay, but we got found out this time. Onwards and upwards, though, up the stones. They were the words of Ben.
Just on that penalty, it's interesting, isn't it, sometimes how you can be one side of the ground and think you've seen one thing and then another and see another. And I think Ben, I'm sure I've heard Ben say, I think it was in our chat that yes, in the moment that it happened, he genuinely thought that it was a penalty and it was a clumsy challenge. And then obviously the clear footage we've probably all seen since shows that he pulled out of the challenge and there wasn't any contact, and that, you know, the penalty was given anyway. But it makes me wonder what was the referee's angle, because if the referee's angle was similar to the one Ben saw at the time, then probably can have no complaints that he thought it was a penalty.
Sorry, can I just quickly touch on the Enfield game? Because we've not mentioned Enfield, and I feel like we should probably touch on a 5-1 win.
Yeah, of course.
Enfield are now, they're still in the bottom 4. They're a point behind Farnborough. In a game between 2 teams at the bottom, scrapping, to go and win 5-1, Lamar Reynolds with the hat-trick, that's one way to turn up, isn't it? Like, your manager knows you need you. It's dark, it's cold, it's wet, it's unpleasant November conditions. This isn't the start of the season when everything's kind of going nicely and you're on a nice pitch. I can't imagine the pitch was very pleasant down at Enfield. It's a scrappy game. It's not what you want. Lamar Reynolds turns up, scores a hat-trick. They win 5-1, and they're only a point outside the relegation, only 1 point from safety, sorry. And they're chasing down a Farnborough team that they've just hit 5-1. The confidence they will get from that going into this, like, running around Christmas where fixtures are going to pile up, they'll have that in the back of their mind of, we've just beaten a team around us 5-1. We can beat anyone. And that is going to help them. I don't know if they'll fall off after Christmas. They might burn out in these next few games, but having that in the back of your head when it's going to get tough in the next few months, having that's just going to give them that little boost, and it should help them get out of this, or at least stay alive in what won't be an easy relegation scrap.
Yeah, of course. And you know what as well, which I really love, we've got new fans in here tonight. So we actually have Enfield. So Reese has put Enfield absolutely blitz Farnborough, Lamar Reynolds hat-trick and an assist, and Kian Dillon, a goal and 2 assists. Hopefully a good strike partnership blossoming. Come on, you Towners. And I love to see new people in the chat. So thank you so much for joining us and sending in your match reports as well. It's always nice. We do have a couple more match reports as well, but for some reason, they've obviously not gotten in the right order. So just bear with me a minute. Right, so first, I know, honestly, StreamYard it's being silly, we'll say. So Steve is obviously a Slough fan. So he has put his first match report in. So he has put, I'll do our rearranged Tuesday game against Farnborough first because we won a game, battered them for 75 minutes, but only had 1-0 lead to show for it. They had 2 or 3 good chances in the last 10 minutes. Throwing everyone forward. No. Why have they done this to me? So that one.
That could be right.
Is that right?
Yeah, throwing everybody forward, but we scored an injury time to seal it.
Yeah. It's all in right. I've got one match report there, then I've got his other one above, and then I've got that. It's all so confusing, and I'm not the brightest spark anyway. Especially when it comes to technology. And then the other one, so Worthing at home, similar to Farnborough, we scored early and had it all our own way for 50 minutes, but really needed to make it 2 or 3 as the second half went on, we started to sit further back and let's go through all the comments again.
It'd be fun, wouldn't it? Just mix up different matches.
No, honestly, it's like a puzzle. And let them back into the game. 2 goals in 8 minutes was enough for Worthing, and despite our chances at the end, they held on. Honestly, I'm sure it's doing it on purpose, so I'm having to puzzle it all together. It's keeping my brain ticking. Then we've got Andrew. He's put, I'm off to watch Western play tomorrow night. Looking forward to see how they pick themselves up after losing to Dover. And we do have as well North Sander, also known as Green Acres. Western have just announced plans to redevelop their ground. Should be pretty smart, judging by pictures I saw. Very nice. Has anybody got anything else that they want to say on here?
Salisbury Chelmsford, I think, deserves a nod because Chelmsford looking really good. Obviously, we've spoken about their strike force with Lyle Taylor, and who's the other striker they brought in? Because they made a really good signing recently. I can't remember who it was. It's another really good striker. They'd won 5 in a row before this, including beating Braintree in the FA Cup, which, if anyone watched that on TNT Sport, they beat Braintree really comfortably in that Essex derby. So to be obviously winning 5 in a row to then go away at Salisbury and lose to Renell, who are lower half of the table, they're not quite Enfield, Farnborough relegation scrap, but they're not exactly flying. So for Chelmsford, that's a bit of a shock to lose that 3-0.
And a good win for Chippenham. They're bottom of the league.
Very good win.
And they got a 1-0 win against Tunbridge, who are one of the 3 sides just above the relegation zone. So they keep them within their sight and within their reach. And, you've got to start somewhere, So it's obviously not been... I mean, lots of lazy people predict Chippenham to go down every year, and they overachieve, don't they? They've been holding comfortable mid-table positions. Even sniffed around the playoffs, didn't they, a couple of years ago? This could prove to be a season too far, but they are certainly up for the fight. And Tunbridge, who started the season pretty well, Trevor, didn't they? I think just slipping down a little bit now.
Yeah, they were just picking up under Craig Nelson when they decided to dispense with his services and bring in Alan Dunn. It's 1 win in 9, I think it is, for Tunbridge at the moment, which isn't great, and makes you kind of wonder what their thinking was to make the change. I know Alan's got a lot of connections with Bromley, and they've had 2 or 3 on loan from there. And I noticed a couple have just started to creep their way back to their parent clubs as well. So whether that's upsetting them a little bit, the return of Sean Shields is massive for them. Obviously, got a great winner against Maidstone, which I'm sure Ben didn't like a couple of weeks ago for the West Kent bragging rights. But yeah, it's a little bit of a worry there for Tunbridge. I think they're starting to slide the wrong way, and when teams like Chippenham start to pick up points at the bottom, Salisbury picks up the 3 in Enfield as well at the weekend, you just start to look over your shoulder just a little bit and wonder where that next win's going to come from.
Just wanted to point out as well in the chat, Sean, I was just testing you all. Come on. I'm only joking. It was me, my mistake. I do apologise. But yeah, we'll pretend I was testing you all. I was getting all your brains working, just in case you switched off. But of course, the National League South table. So top of the table, we have Hornchurch on 39 points. Weston-super-Mare are second on 35 points. Worthing, they are third on 33 points. Torquay United are fourth on 33 points. Horsham are fifth on 31 points. Dorking Wanderers are 6th on 31 points. And Hemel Hempstead are 7th on 29 points. And then in the relegation zone, 21st, we have Enfield Town on 15 points. Slough are 22nd on 15 points. Eastbourne Borough are 23rd on 12 points. And bottom of the table, we have Chippenham Town on 11 points. Just quickly in the chat as well, we have Tonbridge just let Eddie Simon go, who scored a lot in lower leagues. I believe he's part-time dentist. Oh, I love that. I could have done with him the other day. My wisdom tooth were playing up. Genuinely. Who would have thought I'd have a wisdom tooth? Because I'm not very wise. Two of them are halfway through. It's a shock to me as well. But who wants to go first? Rob, do you want to talk Aldershot?
Rather not, but you know,
you don't have to.
Of course, I will. I mean, I've missed a few pods of late, haven't I? And I've sort of come back this weekend, and it's a difficult one to talk about, but I'll take it head on. Credit to Woking. Very, very rare that they come to the EBB and get a win. We like it on Boxing Day. I think Woking probably will like the change that to the end of November when we've played. A tight game, not a fantastic game, but relatively end to end. Good chances. It was 1-1 at half time. All three results possible. Woking shaded it. The difference maker was Josh Asude, who's already stepped up, I think, a couple of leagues to be at Woking. One of the fastest people I've ever seen, and his pace got him just seconds after coming onto a crossfield ball from Ollie Sanderson, and he tucked it away. Unfortunately, and he did nothing wrong, by the way, but on his follow through, he's just caught Pat Nash, who's been given his chance of late. I think he was playing like his fourth game. Unfortunately, got a horrible gash now underneath his eye, concussion as well. He's going to be out for a little while, just as he was starting to, establish himself in the Aldershot Town team. But it was Woking's day. It hurts to lose any game. It particularly does when you set a new club record. 7 consecutive league defeats for Aldershot Town now. It's pretty wretched. 6 of them, the last 6, all by 1 goal. And in 4 of those 6, Aldershot have taken the lead and ended up losing 2-1. It's like an ongoing sob story at the moment. The only thing I can say is, for the supporters, who I know are very, very down, when you lose a derby match, it can feel over-emotional. When that is your 7th consecutive defeat as well, and you've slid down to second bottom, you can feel lower than a snake's belly, can't you? Do you know what I mean? But I think it's a time for calm heads. I've seen some improvement in the Aldershot Town performances of late. We're conceding a lot less. Unfortunately, we don't have Josh Barrett available. He's a classy finisher at this level. He'll hopefully be back soon. He trained all of last week and then got ill on Friday. And that's the kind of sob story that Aldershot have got at the moment.
It's just like one thing after another, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. It's literally getting, but listen, Boston last year were 12 points adrift and stayed up. So I'm definitely not writing Aldershot Town off yet. From the outside looking in, a lot of people will jump on now and go, oh, yeah, they're definitely in my 4. But there's some good players at Aldershot Town. There's still a lot of togetherness. And they've actually been in with a shout of getting a result in every one of those last 6 games. But it just...
Even against us.
Yeah.
Even against us.
The Rochdale fans were really complimentary. I know Halifax have been to Rochdale and won this season, but a lot of them on the forums were saying that Aldershot were one of the best sides to go there this season, We want points now, though, not plaudits. And hopefully we can start that soon. The search is going to go on this weekend, Morgan, up at your place. And, of course, the games are not going to get any easier. But... listen, let me just finish off saying Neil Ardley with Woking has taken them now to just 1 defeat in 10.
Yeah.
I know 1 or 2 Woking fans are unhappy that there's too many draws in that. And there's certainly been a couple of underwhelming home draws in that. And I'm not talking about the Rochdale draw. I'm talking about one or two of the other more recent games. But he's working with what he's got. And I think he's doing a very, very good job. And if you're unhappy at the moment, Woking in 13th, 14th place, one defeat in 10, then you probably need to give your heads a little bit of a wobble, because Neil Ardley's doing a really good, solid job there. Can he take them further? Is there enough quality at Woking to push for the playoffs? I don't think there is, and that's only because I think the playoffs are starting to. The playoff teams are starting to lock themselves out at the minute. I've never, ever said this in 12, 13 years of watching. We'll look at the table a little bit later, of course. But I think the current top 7, maybe one will slip out and someone else will come in. But I think they're pretty locked in. And a good season for Woking might be to try and finish 9th, 10th, 11th, in all honesty. And I don't say that with any kind of malice. I'm just being honest.
Definitely. Just on the Aldershot thing as well, because I know a lot of people, like you said, Rob, are putting you in their predictions now to be relegated, but you can never write off John Coleman. Like, honestly, you can never, ever write off John Coleman. And we've seen it before where he's gone into teams and obviously he's stabilised it, he's pulled them out of relegation scraps. And honestly, I'm not just saying it because you're here, but if on the day you're a little bit more clinical, you could have easily beat us. Like, genuinely, you had the chances, especially later on in that game. And if you're a little bit more clinical, you could have easily beaten us on the day, 100%. And yeah, I agree. One of the better teams we've seen at the Crown Royal Arena. We've not seen many because of our pitch, but one of the better ones, definitely.
And I'll tell you what, I'll just finish that off before we, obviously lots of other clubs and results and teams to talk about in the league. But Shah, we'll be doing our damnedest to end that run of 7 defeats at the weekend to try and help ourselves and to try and help your lot as well. Sorry, Morgan.
I was waiting just for that little dig at the end. No, I mean, to be fair, Aldershot, I was just looking. Josh Barrett's got the most assists in the league, or joint. Is he, like, obviously you're missing him because you said he's been injured and then ill at the weekend. But you can get him fit and firing and healthy and everything. He'll give you a chance in any game. Like, 6 assists in 18, 19 games, whatever it is you've played at this point. It's a really good return for someone. He's not a star striker. He kind of goes under the radar as those productive National League players. When people think about the best productive players in the league, they're looking at the top of the league. You're looking at your Forest Greens, Rochdale, York, Carlisle. You're looking at the top of the league. Josh Barrett's got 6 assists already. He's top of the assist table. Like, if you can get him going, with the amount of goals you've scored already this year, John Coleman as well might need to find a striker, but you're scoring goals. You're near the bottom of the table. Josh Barrett can put it on a plate for anyone. You should be able to climb out of there, and there's a lot of football to be played.
There is, and just to put some a little bit more meat on the bones of what you said, those 6 assists came in the first 10 or 11 games this season. Yeah. He hasn't played in this run. In this run of defeats, I think maybe the first one possibly, but he hasn't played in the last certainly 6 or 7 games for shots. So yeah, hopefully we'll have him back this weekend. I know you'd probably rather we didn't, but the thing is, if he can be back this weekend, then from, you know, you listened, didn't you, to the Spaces with Luke Walsh and myself last night, and Dave Ward, who commentates on your. He said it's interesting how Aldershot do approach the game at the weekend, because he thinks teams that taking on York at the moment are having a little bit of joy scoring goals against them. Obviously, slightly a problem that York are averaging 3 or 4 goals a game.
Yeah, it's a really weird time for us. I know, obviously, I could get onto it a little bit further. Conceded 2 against Eastleigh, 2 against Morecambe, 2 against Brackley. Could have conceded more against Rochdale. Obviously, it was only 1 at half time.
Not allowed to mention that game. Not allowed.
All right, well, that could have been. We could have been 2-1 down at half time. Like, we're scoring loads and getting ourselves out of trouble. But we went 2-1 down to Brackley, 2-1 down to Eastleigh, 1-0 down to Morecambe. We're conceding goals that I don't know whether we shouldn't. Malachi Fagan-Walcott, Callum Howell, Mark Kitchen are 3 of the best centre-backs in this league. They're absolutely brilliant. And I don't know where these goals are coming from, because you look up and we're 1-0 down or 2-1 down. It's like, how? We've got a brilliant defence. It might be our wing-backs are so attacking. Alex Newby's got like 6 assists or 6 goals himself in at left wing-back. We know what Joe Felix can do on the other side. It might be our wing-backs just too high up. we're conceding goals. If Josh Barrett's fit, he could put one on a plate and we could be 1-0 down within 5 minutes at the weekend. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. In terms of the Brackley game at the weekend, again, we went 1-0 up through Greg Ollie. It was put on a plate for him. It was a brilliant cross from left hand side. Greg Ollie's first goal for us, and his first goal since February of last year. I think it's been a really, really long time due to that horrible injury he had. Missed a lot of football, and he's not started well at York. I know one of my friends texted me, or I texted him as soon as I went in, saying all he needed was a start. It's a bit of a joke because we've been laughing about how poor Greg Ollie's been, but it's our depth has been a curse and a gift at the same time. It's great that you can bring on someone like Greg Ollie for his first start.
Yeah.
But when he's coming back from such long injury, he's only going to look good when he gets a run of games. So I'm hoping he might start getting that with the injuries we've had. So it'll be interesting to see how he fits. He's got a goal and he's looked good. But he gets that goal. We then go 2-1 down. We seem to give away basically only 2 chances. Really good finish from Morgan Roberts inside the box into the bottom corner. And then their next goal was Michael Nottingham, 6'4" centre back. He's quite young and he hasn't played every minute for them this year. I think he's played about half their games when I was doing the research. Crossed into the box and it was left unmarked. Alex Newby stood there, didn't jump because Alex Newby's far smaller than 6'4". And Nottingham headed it home. And it's like, why have we left someone that big unmarked? So it finished well. And it was like, here we go again. We're back it. We have to come from behind again. Did it as we always do, and it was horrible conditions. The rain just didn't stop. The ball wasn't rolling properly, and I don't know if that's part of Brackley's pitch. I don't know if they're growing it long to stop teams like us playing football. And obviously, Rochdale struggled at Brackley. I know you changed your entire 11 that
11 changes, don't trigger me, Martin. I'm only just over it.
So, like, there is a little bit of a extenuating circumstance, but obviously you struggled there. We struggled, but got it done. Equaliser came through Josh Stone, so I think it was 2-2 at half-time. Ball from the left-hand side. Not entirely sure how it gets all the way through, but Josh Stone scored. Got 6 goals and 2 assists in his last 6 games since the start against Barnsley. When people said him and Pearce can't play together, they absolutely can. You just need a manager that can play them together. We weren't getting that. We do now. And then the second half, we kind of put the pressure on. And it was Ollie Pearce, of course, that got the winner, 76th minute. Ball falls to him on the edge of the box and he just puts it in the bottom corner. It was a bit scrappy until it fell to him, but it was a great finish. Up to 21 goals in 20 games, I think it is this year, plus a few assists. Like, he was good last year. I think he could break his record. He's 10 away. It might be 21 goal contributions. He is 21 goal contributions, in 20 games. He's absolutely flying. And he hit 31 goals last year. It wouldn't shock me if he beats that. We got 95 goals last year. We should beat it. We're on 50 already, which is obscene. But we're flying. The goals conceded is a worry. And if Josh Barrett's fit, then we could go 1-0 down or 2-1 down again at the weekend. But it wouldn't shock me if we hit 3, 4, 5 and we win again at the weekend.
What I will just say is, you talked about how the young Aldershot defence, they've got a really good signing in Raheem Shackelford. He made his debut at Rochdale and played really well that day, and he played pretty well against Woking for large parts as well. And Will Nightingale's come back, so he's one of the 2 experienced defenders we signed this season who've been out injured for a lot of it. But he's actually, we think of him as one of the older ones, but he's only 30 years old, and he's playing like a spring chicken at the minute. So it's good to have a little bit of experience and leadership at the back. And Morgan, you just smashed out about the dozen stats there. That was absolutely phenomenal. 11 of them, I reckon, were spot on. But I think Michael Nottingham might be in the Morgan Bruce fan club now. He's no youngster, mate. He's 36.
He is 36. He's got a bit of experience behind him. I was doing my research on Brackley's defence. I put out an essay piece because I was looking at it. It's like, I think they had the 9th best defence going into this weekend. And it was like, how is a team that came up, they're part-time, everyone expects them to finish rock bottom. It's like, who are Brackley? They're in the playoffs, 6 years in a row or whatever it was. I know you had a Brackley fan on your space the other night. It was like, how are Brackley going to do? They're 16th, 9th best defence in the league. I was like, I have to look into this. And I was doing this essay piece that I put on my Twitter, and it was really interesting looking into it because they signed Jonathan Maxted the year they came up from after he left Newport. They only made one signing, which was Kyle Morrison after leaving Solihull. Obviously got them to the playoff final, like good defender. But then Michael Nottingham came in, has played about half their games, they kind of pieced it together, but they're just not allowing shots at all. They're in the top 10 for shots faced, save percentage, shots on target faced, expected goals against. Everything says what they're doing is sustainable. They're not going to be pretty. They're not going to be scoring loads of goals. If they finish 15th and have a top 10 defence, it's very realistic, and it's a fantastic season if they can do that over 46 games.
Definitely. I'm so sorry. I got lost because of this joke. It eats carrots. It eats carrots. I was like, what?
Eat slay. All right.
I know. Morgan could have done this on his own. He could. He's that good. He is
Right,
that
I'll let everyone
good.
else talk. I'll let everyone
Don't
else talk. I've just
really.
waffled.
No, you're
No,
not
I
waffled.
think they're complimenting the amount of stats that
You're
you
brilliant.
Yeah, that was slightly scary.
Yeah.
I'm slightly impressed myself there.
Yeah.
We're very impressed too. And Graham's pointed out as well, only 2 home wins on this page. Yes, unless I've done any mistakes. I'm sure you lot will point them out. I'm joking. We have got as well. I know you did mention this, Morgan, didn't you, off air to me? But the latest.
Yes. Yeah, we've not touched on Yeovil yet, but Waltham and Hersham put a statement out. A Yeovil fan, Callum Hallett, if you follow him on Twitter, very, very good Twitter account. Callum's
Very
great. He pointed me in the right direction that they put out a statement that on Saturday, Yeovil approached him. He stepped down to go do this further opportunity in football, higher in the pyramid, sorry. They're top of the 7th tier, I think 2 points clear when I was looking at it. Be interesting to see how they've done, because the last manager was Mark Cooper, experience, been there, done it. This is different direction, so it'll be interesting to see how Yeovil do, because they've had Rob Drydale as interim for several weeks now, so it'll be interesting to see how that works out for them.
Definitely. Trev, I'm going to come to you. You've been ever so quiet there. Any standouts on here or any you want to give a mention to?
Well, as already mentioned, like 2 home wins. It certainly wasn't a weekend for the homers, whatsoever. I was actually looking at the table earlier when I was putting something together for my blog piece to go out this evening as well. I'm just looking at how tight that top 6, and as Rob said as well, the 7 are just starting to move away a little bit as well. And the only thing I'll say, and this is based on the experience of us winning it last year, the team that puts a run of clean sheets together will win that title. It's as simple as that, because you look at everybody that played, I think bar Boreham Wood and Altrincham, no one else kept a clean sheet, and you can score goals. I mean, as Morgan was saying, York haven't got a problem scoring goals. I saw as well that you got 50 already, and I'm like, that's nuts. We're not even at the end of November, but you can't keep conceding. You've got to shut that back door at some point, because that's when it comes a cropper, as we found going into November. And as soon as we put that run together, it's littered with clean sheets absolutely everywhere. And I think the team that can do that will be the one that pulls away. You guys have got the 2 games in hand. You've got to win them, obviously, but you're in the driving seat.
Yeah.
What's really, I think, surprised me this year has been Luke Garrard's evolution at Boreham Wood, to the difference in the way they play. And they're just as solid picking up their clean sheets, but they've added goals to their game. And obviously signing Zach Brunt from us a couple of weeks ago, which I knew was going to happen.
Yeah.
There wasn't a future for him at the Hive, sadly. Great lad, but he's always going to score goals. And then you add Regan Booty on loan. Alongside him, you've got Matt Rush scoring goals for fun as well. Scunthorpe have been brilliant. I didn't have them quite as high as that. Andy Butler's doing terrifically well with them to keep them in the mix. Whether they can sustain it, because I think the 4, I think it is at the moment, have got the better resources to be able to do it. But if Willstone can go and pick a point off of Forest Green, and again, they're doing tremendously well under Sam Cox there, it's just not clear cut. It's great for people like me as an outsider. You guys have got to sit there chewing the fingernails. It's great to see. And as Mark mentioned in the comments as well, Hartlepool are just picking up again under Nicky Featherstone. And a lot of people came at me in the summer when I went, Hartlepool aren't going to do it under Simon Grayson. I'm like, yeah, most experienced manager, blah, blah, blah. And I said, yeah, that's all very well. I said, but the problem is off the pitch. where the ownership seems to torpedo everything that goes. And while they're doing brilliantly at the moment, you're just waiting for that moment where he lights the blue touch paper again and walks off, and they plummet. But a good result away from home at Eastleigh. Long way to go on a Saturday or a Tuesday. But yeah, shaping up to be a fantastic finish again that I can just watch and go, he's going to join us next year.
And then come on then, Shah, let's not keep your powder dry any longer. Rochdale have gone back top of the league. You got it done away from home. Tell us about that one.
Yes, so don't get me wrong, with a Jim McNulty team, you're expected to have a lot of the ball, aren't you? So the stats stats did show we did have a lot of the ball. I felt like we were in control. Obviously, we went 1-0 up, and then Manny Desirue then got a penalty. It was a penalty as well. And obviously, 1 minute, I've lost my bearings now. Bear with me. I've completely, because I'm reading the chat as well, I've completely lost my bearings.
I'm so sorry. I threw you onto that a bit earlier than you wanted.
Yeah, I was going to read the Hartlepool comment out, so I've completely lost my bearings. So sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, first of all, pretend I didn't say anything. So one player I'm going to give a shout out to, but EFL clubs, don't come in for him because he's not very good. He's not very good at the defense. You will not want him. We just play him every week because we like him at Rochdale.
Kyron Gordon.
A certain Mr. Kyron Gordon, as much as I do want to put the EFL clubs off him, he is having a tremendous season, and obviously he's got 3 goals so far, been very vital goals, may I add, as well. And I think he's got a couple of assists as well. So not only is he doing very, very good defending at the back for us, but he is contributing as well. And he's one person who, especially last season, really, really did step up for Rochdale. He's still only very, very young as well, Kyron Gordon. But when Ebanks Landell was injured, he was out for a very, very long time last season. It really did step up. And this season, he's just gone about one step further. But again, EFL clubs, back off him, please. We need him.
Sure, I'm just going to give Dean a call.
Don't do it. Please, I beg. So yeah, he put us 1-0 up, and then Manny Desirue, Manny D, I'll call him, because it isn't right calling him Manny Desirue when you're a Dale fan. Manny D, the man. I'm so happy that he did get back on the score sheet, because I know he's been playing very, very well, may I add, for us, but obviously he's been a little bit dry with his goals as of late. But we did get a penalty. It was a penalty as well, to be fair, no arguments there. He did put the ball in the back of the net. And then after that, 3 minutes later, this is what frustrated me the most. As soon as Manny Desirue scored that goal, Jim, and I love Jim, decided to make a couple of changes. Has he made them changes? And then Tamworth do get one back. And I tell you what, they did make it very, very difficult for us the last 20 minutes or so. So, yeah, they did make it very, very difficult. But another really good win. And Tamworth are one of them teams that I don't really like playing against, because they're the sort of team that we do struggle against, a little bit of a physical team. And like I said, they did make it really, really difficult for us. Very sloppy defending as well, may I add, towards the end of the game from us, which I'm quite shocked about, because our defence has been solid, but a lot of people are now talking about our defence. And obviously Ollie Watmore, he's kept 10 clean sheets, which I think is brilliant for a 17-year-old goalkeeper. He's on loan from Manchester City, but I feel like the more we're talking about it, then we are conceding the goals. But yeah, a very, very good win. No complaints. Obviously, we've just got to keep winning our games. I know a lot of people are obviously back in York, way they should. I know on Luke Walsh and your space as well last night, Rob, you asked me the question. I still do think at the moment York are favourites, even though we do have them 2 games in hand. But you've got to take into consideration our pitch. Like, that is the main thing. Our pitch, as well as them 2 games in hand, are against Scunthorpe and Southend. I am feeling a little bit more confident than last season, because apart from York, we have beaten the likes of Carlisle's, Boreham Wood, and obviously Forest Green, whereas last season we could not beat any teams around us in the top. We could not beat those top teams, so I'm a little bit confident in that aspect. But yeah,
I think you're right to be more confident. I think you're a slightly better team. You've got more,
as well.
Yeah, you've got more strength in depth. McNulty's another year down the road with learning.
Yes.
You know, and he is a young manager who's learning, and you've got a stronger management team as well. And as for the pitch, look, that's a big investment in those inflatable pitch covers that's been committed to by the club, by the Ogdens, by who, you know, where the money's coming from. And I think that's excellent. And I think what they've done there is they've kind of said, look, if we're going to have a chance of winning the league and certainly making the playoffs, we can't afford to end the season like, for example, you may have done a little bit before, and Halifax have done a couple of times where you end up with 3 or 4 games to make up, because it's very, very difficult to keep the momentum going in that situation. So that commitment's been made as well, and I don't think you should be overly concerned about your pitch now, because they can protect that whenever they need to. I believe that they've hired them for 3 months. Is that right?
Yeah. The only thing is, at the moment with our pitch, any bit of water, it's basically like a sponge. So any bit of water, it's obviously absorbing. And with struggle, it's like a drainage problem, which I know they're looking at other solutions as well, which is absolutely brilliant, and they are trying. But yeah, I think I've just got a bit of PTSD from last season, and then that backlog of games, and then obviously we were getting the injuries to like Ryan East and stuff. But just really quickly before I move on, I vouch for this 100%. Shah, I've had a lot of stick for sticking Harvey Gilmore in my best 11 so far. Back me up. I will back you up on this one, because he has been my player of the season so far for Rochdale. He just does the simple things, but him and Ryan East keep that midfield ticking, and just everything Harvey Gilmore does, it puts the team together. Honestly, it's physical. Just is contributing to goals, is obviously getting further forward, is protecting the back line. And I think most of our home man of the matches, Harvey Gilmore has actually got quite a lot of them. But I just wanted to give credit as well to Casey Petit, because it was his first league. I think it was his second, league start of the season. He's obviously played in the National Cup games. Him and Harvey Gilmore just offered that little bit more physicality in midfield. I love Ryan East. He's my favourite Rochdale player. He did deserve a rest, to be fair, because he's been playing most of the games, and it's nice that we can obviously rotate now, but he was absolutely phenomenal. And my man of the match, Casey Petit, and he just offers that little bit of something different as well. So I think we did need that little bit more physicality than what Ryan East gives us. But I do love Easter.
Yeah, and looking at your strength in depth, I mean, those changes that you made a couple of weeks ago when you played us, I mean, there was nothing in the game for an hour, and then literally you reached to your bench and you made it 2 and 2. You know, within 5 minutes, 4 players had come on that were all class, that had given you fresh legs, and we just didn't have that on our bench. And I don't know if you guys all agree, putting this to you, Morgan and Trevor as well. I just think we tend to call them finishers rather than substitutes now, but I think they're more important than ever in the game. If so many games are tight going into the last 20 minutes, half an hour, and if you can actually give impetus to your team at that point, whereas another team is like treading water, it's massive. It's massive.
Yeah, 100% over 46 games, you need it. Like, you can look down all 24 teams in this league and say that's a really good starting 11. Like, when lineups come out at 2 o'clock, that's a strong starting 11. By 60 minutes, you could have made all 5 subs completely different, and you can win the game with 2 or 3 late goals. We've done it, and other teams will do it as well. Like, strength and depth is absolutely massive in this league. You can't have a good starting 11 and then some mediocre players. You need to be able to, if you want to compete in this league, you need to be able to have that strength all the way through a game.
Yeah, absolutely agree. If you want to win the league, you've got to have 5 good options off the bench. That's what we had last year. It's what you have to upgrade on every year. That's what we did even this year going into the Football League. We upgraded on, or wanted to upgrade on, the players we had, because you need better changes off the bench to different situations that you're playing against. And I think if we hadn't have had that strength in depth last year, it wouldn't have allowed us to go on that run, to just bring players off the bench that you know that can make a difference. And if you've got a fine margin game, which we had probably say at Tamworth last year, where we only managed to beat them by a goal to nil, probably a game the year before we probably would have drawn or we would have lost. And that really does make a difference, you know, when you want to win a league.
Definitely. And positive news as well. Joe Pritchard, who has been absent for us, he had a really good start to the season. He has now been in the squad as well, and he's coming back from his injury. So that is massive news, because what a vital player he was. And we saw obviously last season when he was at Oldham, especially in the playoffs, and what a vital player he was to them. So, yeah, I completely agree. I'm so sorry, Luke. I have got your match report, even though you probably don't want me to read it out. So Gateshead 0, Boreham Wood 3. He has put Boreham Wood at home. Already knew the outcome to this game anyways before a ball was even kicked. Genuinely cannot get my head around what's going on at the club right now, on and off the pitch. A sub 500 home attend. What?
Yes, 549.
Wow.
549 there, of which I think there's 50 or 60 Boreham Wood fans. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. A sub 500 home attendance, many walking out before the end, very grim match day experience, made a mockery of by 10 men. People have had enough and voting with their feet.
They've only won one home game all season.
Wow.
Unfortunately, it was against us, but
And he's put, feels like absolute chore coming to watch Gateshead. Something has to change at this point. I mean, at the moment, do we think Gateshead could be in trouble?
Yeah, without
100%.
without a shadow of a doubt, they're only a place or two outside the relegation zone, aren't they? And they're severely lacking in momentum. One place, 2 points. They're on a little bit of a downward spiral at the moment, and there has been discontent off the pitch with the way that things are run off the pitch there for quite a while. They've lost so many good quality players as well, haven't they? And they've done really well in replacing them and keeping their brand of football going in the past, but it's proving harder than ever now. I don't know how any football club can sustain National League football on gates as low as 549. That's just staggering, isn't it? Obviously they're not getting the quality they want to see on the pitch. And then you get to this time of year and some cold, wet, drizzly weather. You know, unfortunately, anybody who's been there will tell you it's not the greatest of places to watch football either, is it? An athletic stadium. It is difficult. It's tough times for Gateshead right now. And nothing for those that were still in the ground in the dying seconds when Boreham Wood got their third. The irony won't have been lost on the fact that it was Regan Booty on his debut for Boreham Wood against Gateshead, his old team, who scored pretty much from the halfway line. I don't know if anyone's seen it, but it was a lovely little viral going around on social media where they took that Regan Booty goal from the halfway line and they just applied the Scottish commentary from last week to it with that goal in the dying seconds against Denmark, and it fit quite well, to be fair.
I feel for Gateshead because honestly, like the last few seasons, and we've seen with the managers, they get poached. Like some of the players, some of the talents they've had, they seem to get poached quite a lot, haven't they, Gateshead? We've had some amazing talents, and yeah, it's just got to a point now, and I do really, really feel for Luke because no matter what, he goes and supports them, but it's really grim times at the moment for them, isn't it?
It feels like they almost peaked with that playoff run where the EFL said you're not allowed to compete because you don't have the 10-year lease on your ground. It's like, well, that was the start, the end, wasn't it? And obviously Williamson left, and then the manager they got in went to Crawley. Callum Whelan's left. Ed France has left. Owen Hosseini's left. Maka Langstaff, Kedwin Scott. I could keep on going and going and going with the amount of quality they've had that is no longer there. Managers, staff, players. And it doesn't help when, as you've said, the Gateshead International Stadium isn't exactly a nice place to go. It can't be nice going up there. We know how cold it gets in the northeast. You're going up there, and I feel sorry for Luke and the other 500 that are going because it's a horrible place to go. It gets cold. You're playing awful football with no real sign of where things are going. I know they've had money issues and ownership issues, and where does it go? And it seems like we talk about who's going to survive in this bottom four. I know Braintree don't have much momentum. Gateshead don't have much momentum. But Sutton just above Gateshead have momentum. Chris Haggerty's done a great job down there.
Yeah, very good.
Morecambe have just got their first 0-0 draw of the season. Jen comes on here and is quite positive about them every week. Morecambe could drag themselves out of it. Players like Jack Nolan have the quality. It feels like Truro seem pretty close to dead already. Gateshead have no momentum, neither do Braintree. That fourth place could be up for grabs, but it feels like we've got 3 nailed on and it's not Christmas yet, or it's not even December.
Definitely. Just really quickly before we move on, I did want to ask, because not many of us have mentioned the Carlisle game, obviously at the bottom. So Boston United 1, Carlisle United 2. We can't not speak about Carlisle, can we? Another late goal from them. And what is happening with the Con Clark situation? Will he be a Carlisle player, or York have been linked to him, Morgan? Will he be coming to York?
I don't think so. I think it's Carlisle. What's his name? Is it Darren? What's the Peterborough owner's name?
DMAC.
DMAC. Yes, McAntony. Yeah, he went on that podcast, didn't he? And there was that clip going around about that deal that had been signed.
Yeah.
I'm convinced in my head anyway. When he went to Carlisle, it's a loan to buy thing. We're nothing to do with it. No one else is to do with it. He's a Carlisle player until they want to activate that. I know Matt Ugler retweeted some stuff, and there was some stuff flying around York City Twitter of, are we going to do it? We've got the money too. It's not ours. I'm sure he's a Carlisle player.
What do we make about Carlisle as well under Win?
Well, interesting that it was McAdam that got both goals and not Linney or Con Clark.
Yes.
Also, the winner was pretty late on. You'll have been gutted, Shah.
Really?
You know, I
was.
I can imagine literally, you know, when you like, oh, we've got our win. Right, how did York get on? How did Carlisle? How did Forest Green get on? I get that. I just want to say, based on the report we had in from Christian, who obviously is on NL full-time and often on here with us, that Boston played really, really well without creating too much in the first half. He said it was a very even game. And they were in with the shout of getting a point out of this one until very, very late on. But like good sides do, they found a way, Carlisle, just like Rochdale did up at Tamworth and Bournemouth did at Gateshead, etc. They got it done, didn't they? They won. But interesting to see, you know, a different player being the one that came to the fore this week and not Chris Con Clark or Regan Linney.
Anybody else got anything they want to mention from the National League?
Just trying to think who we haven't talked about. I mean, Braintree got a really good point, didn't they? Away at Scunthorpe, they were trailing for much of the game. But Tom Blackwell got them a point, and every point away from home when you're scrapping away at the bottom is precious. And Morgan, you touched on Morecambe. Not just the 0 against Yeovil, but the 0 against Brackley in the week as well. Back-to-back clean sheets for Morecambe.
Seem to be fixing something, don't they?
Absolutely.
Anybody else before we move on? No?
I think we're done, aren't we? Yeah.
Right. So, top of the table, we have Rochdale on 43 points. Second, we have Carlisle also on 43 points. But obviously, goal difference there is 5 between failed maths. You see, I had to concentrate. Third, we have York City on 42 points. Forest Green are 4th with 42 points. Boreham Wood are 5th on 41 points. Scunthorpe United, they are 6th on 37 points. And Southend United are 7th on 35 points. Did we speak about Southend?
We didn't. I just realised it as you flipped
Oh,
over.
we need to talk about them. So Southend 3, Altrincham 0. Who wants to talk Southend? Southend fans they'll chase me up on that one if we don't speak.
Go on, Trevor. You're nearest geographically.
I was going to say Darren Curry probably would have a go if I didn't say anything about him as well. They're just on that hang on in there, aren't they? In 7th place. I had them, I think, in the top 3 or 4. I think I thought they'd actually go and actually really go for it this year. I know, obviously, 2 or 3 of the clubs have got bigger budgets and everything, but as we said earlier, that top 7 is just starting to creep away a little bit. And if them and Scunthorpe win that game in hand, then it's difficult for anyone, I think, to break out of that pack and actually catch them. So just a case of keeping momentum, I think. But I mean, Altrincham have been playing really well under Neil Gibson. I've been impressed with what he's done there, interim wise. Actually, hope he gets the job there, based on what he did at Willstone as well last season. So to pick up 3 points and a clean sheet against them and to stay in touch as well. I mean, if they win their game in hand, Scunthorpe win that game in hand, you've probably got something like 5 points between 7 sides. It's just utterly ridiculous. It really is. Like when I was looking at it earlier today, I'm like, how is it that tight? Why has no one, just got a 2 or 3 point gap? It's absolutely crazy. And I'm looking at it going, just carry on with it. I'm enjoying watching it.
Love it. Would love it to be at least a 4-horse race right up to the very end. It'd be amazing.
No, both of them games in hand are against us. So no.
Oh yeah, they are, aren't they? Yeah. That's really
Trevor,
interesting.
I'm going to kick you off.
That's really interesting.
My mouse was getting ready to click remove.
Anyway, I hope you enjoyed your one time on the pod, Trev.
Yeah, I thought we were friends.
Short-lived.
Rob, I also don't think. Sorry, I don't think Rob. I don't think I'll be happy if it did go to the very end because of that last day of the season. York go to Rochdale. Like you're saying, I hope it goes to the very end. Shara is hoping the exact opposite happens. She wants it wrapped up very soon.
Very soon. I just wanted to point out as well, David, you mustn't have been listening because we were talking about the managerial appointment that is apparently going to happen, and we were talking about Yeovil too. So I will have you know.
Plus, we have to level it back down because the Junior Marias fan club's not on this week. So
it's just going. Say his name 3 times and he'll appear. It's like Candyman.
4 points.
I think one thing that's been good as well, like with Sutton going for Chris Agata, Yeovil going for Billy Rowley if he ends up there. There's a lot of clubs are now looking down rather than looking at managers that have done it in the EFL and that, like Simon Grayson Gregson, and Mark Hughes did a fantastic job at Carlisle, slightly better than I thought he would because he's really adapted very well to the division. That there are some really good managers underneath the National League. Obviously, Morgan knows well enough with Adam going up to York and doing, as well as he did there. And whether there's just that shifting change now of clubs thinking we're going to actually give someone a chance that could actually invigorate things, make a massive difference to our club. It's nice to see because of obviously what I watch all the way around non-league football.
Completely agree with that. Completely agree. That's really made me laugh that we said his name and then he's just popped up. And then obviously in the relegation zone, we have 21st Braintree on 17 points. Morecambe, a 22nd, also on 17 points. Aldershot, I'm sorry, Rob, a 23rd on 13 points. And Truro are bottom of the National League on 12 points.
I'll tell you one thing, Rob, in your favour, though, in the table, if you look at the goal difference, is one thing that's actually, especially when you're trying to pick up points to catch everyone else. Gateshead's minus 21's a bit of a worry on the run they're on, and Morecambe and Truro are heavy around you as well. I think that was one of the things last year with, I think Eastbourne in the south as well. Everyone's goal difference around them, 2 years ago rather. everyone's goal difference around them was absolutely heavy, and that was one of the things that actually helped move them up the table just a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it was really, really good. We were the top scorers in the division until about 8 or 9 games in, and then I think York came past us. But that's why it's better than the other teams. It's not due to our defence, which I think is now the second or third worst in the division. But yeah, our ability, when certain players are available to score goals is encouraging, and I think that's one of the little plus points I'd look at for our chances of staying up. But I am concerned. We stayed out of the bottom 4 until 2 games ago. Kept hanging in on goal difference out of the zone, and then all of a sudden we've dropped in, and within 2 defeats in 2 weeks, we're now 6 points adrift. So that gap can't afford to get much bigger, that's for sure.
Yeah. I won't put up Junior Mariah's comment to you, Rob.
Oh, is it rude?
No, it's just.
Oh, we did. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. We were blown away in a brilliant spell of football from Yeovil. It's a shame for your team, Junior Mariah's fan club, that Yeovil haven't been able to keep that momentum up. But maybe you get some more with the new manager.
Don't speak too soon, Junior Mariah's. You never know what could happen. But of course, that is the end of the show. And I just want to say thank you so much to everybody that has joined tonight. As always, this is in collaboration with a brilliant NL Full-Time. So, Rob, what are your socials and the podcast ones as well? And thank you for coming on.
Yeah, I'm at RobShot66, but you can find the NL Full-Time on Twitter and X at NL Full-Time. And we have a weekly podcast as well, which was recorded yesterday and came out earlier today. That's under the same, you can find that in the same place or on any podcast platforms. And we're enjoying the collaboration. We enjoyed the FCAs. It was really lovely to meet Ben in person and also to meet Sam. What a lovely guy he is as well. And a few others as well, like Aaron, who joins you on the...
so funny. I love Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron Diskin, isn't it? Yeah, that joins
Aaron Oldham fan, he's all right.
we had a really good laugh the other night at Ellen Road, Aaron and I and a few of the others as well. But it was good.
Love that. Trev, thank you so much for coming on, especially last minute. What are all your socials? And please tell us about all your fantastic work as well.
Oh, we'll be here for about half an hour. You can find me on X at TrevK37. My blogging website is www.footballwriting.co.uk. You can find me on a Sussex podcast at the SNLF. What else? 14 million programme column clubs, for including one at Rob's Aldershot as well. And also wanted to mention as well, Shah, you and I have both been nominated in different categories for non-league Bible, haven't we?
Yes, I'm shocked. I have anyway.
Same here.
So thank you.
I've got no idea who nominated me. No idea whatsoever.
Thank you. We might have nominated ourselves on all our burner accounts.
Who knows?
I'm
get
joking.
the phones out voting as well afterwards.
But yeah, thank you to everybody who has voted for us both. I do appreciate it. And Morgan, thank you so much. I mean, there was only 2 of us at the beginning. We got through it until we ended up with a little bit of help from our friends. But where can everybody find you and your fantastic content as well?
Before I plug myself, you both absolutely deserve those nominations. Both your content's brilliant. Char, I see you work every week. Trev, I love what you do. You can find me on Twitter at _Morgan_Bruce. And currently pinned to the top of my account is a piece I published a couple of weeks ago on Josh Stones. It's about 2,000 words, long read. It's done like a university essay. It's one of my best pieces of work. I absolutely loved writing it. There's clips from his olden time and how we lost to Barnet in there, and how Stuart Maynard turned him round from he shouldn't be playing for York, he should be loaned out, to a man that's got 8 goal contributions in 6 games in November. So if people go give that a read, I'd really appreciate it because it's a brilliant piece of work. And I do weekly previews for York Press covering every York game. So that's where you can find me as well.
I'm going to read that because honestly, I shouldn't, because of obviously it was an ex-Oldham player. He scored against us, but he is one of my favourite players in the National League, Josh Jones. And I'm so glad that he's finally been able to prove himself.
Yeah.
And like I said, I shouldn't say it. I shouldn't like him, but I really do. I really do.
He's a likely guy.
And Shah, where can we find you?
If anybody does want to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, I am Shah XREFC. I just wanted to address as well the elephant in the room, because I've had people messaging me. I have today stepped down as Rochdale Her Game 2 co-ambassador. There's no bad blood whatsoever. I've just got a lot of stuff going on at the moment, and I just wanted to concentrate on certain things. But 5 seasons now I have been ambassador and then co-ambassador at Rochdale, and I think it's finally time for somebody else to be able to have the opportunity. So I just wanted to address that. If anybody does want to check out the work that's going on, it is still Rochdale HGT on all of the socials, but I just wanted to point that out because a lot of people are you okay? Are you okay? I am absolutely fine. Do not worry.
Well done, Shah, for sticking, for doing that for 5 years and all the other stuff that you do as well. I know you've got your own Dale podcast as well. You can give that a plug tonight.
Yeah, eventually myself, Leanne, and Isabel will be recording a new episode of The Dale Way. Leanne's been on holiday. Isabel's currently on holiday. So yeah, we will get round to it at some point. I'm hoping it's sooner rather than later because we are winning games and we're top. But yeah, thank you so much for everyone who does support my content too. I have obviously addressed it quite a lot on Twitter, but it's just really nice because sometimes it can be a hard place, obviously, coming into, as they say, a male-dominated kind of industry, especially in the content creating world, but nobody ever treats me any different. So I just wanted to say thank you, everyone, for respecting and for letting me, obviously, talk football with you all. But yes, the most important ones, we are the Absolute Football Podcast, and on Twitter, we are Absolute Ball Pod. YouTube and Twitch, Absolute Football Podcast. On TikTok, we are Absolute Football Pod. Instagram, we are Absolute Football Podcast _ Blue Sky, Absolute Football. And on Facebook, we are the Absolute Football Podcast. And we do have 4 live shows a week, all at 8:30. So, as you all know, on a Monday, in collaboration with NL Fulltime, it is all things non-league football. Absolutely non-league, where we do cover National League North, National League South. On a Tuesday, Sam and the amazing Premier League team, bless him, he won't be a happy chappy tomorrow because Manchester United did get beat to 10-men Everton. But Sam can always do it. He's Sam, the Premier League man. Everyone loves him. So if you do want to talk all things Premier League, he will be on tomorrow at 8:30, talking all the weekend's action. Freya and the rest of Team Chaos, they cover all things women's football from WSL 1, and WSL 2, and just any women's football, honestly. They're so knowledgeable. I'm in awe of them. They're just incredible. And then obviously on a Thursday, if nobody is sick of me, please come and join me. I do have a double championship week. And talking EFL, I have League 1, I have League 2 action as well. So if you do like EFL football, please come and join me and the Rowdy Rabble, as you all say. It is a little bit rowdy, but in a good way. Anything happens on that show. But yeah, as always, thank you so much to everybody in the chat for joining us. It wouldn't be the same without you and your input. Hope you all have a lovely week and see you on Thursday.